radio, my radio voice. Welcome to KHTS 1220 AM here in rainy Southern California. I'm here with AskBrien, Brian Johnson. Hello, Brian.
Hey, Coach. How you doing?
Giving you my radio voice. Fabulous show today. We've got the most popular tech guy in Santa Clarita, Palmdale, Lancaster, Fillmore. Where else, Joe? Joe Messina. How are you, bud?
That was pretty good.
Starting to watch your show at night. You're also in KHTS.
Well, you need somebody to help you get to sleep?
You haven't stopped?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
9. You're on at what? 9 p.m.
9 to midnight here on KHTS.
And then to your left is the fabulous Lindsay McCoy. And we need her.
Is that like the Hatfields and McCoys?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's exactly correct.
One of our great relatives.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's right.
So, Brian Johnson of AskBrien, B-R-I-E-N. Why B-R-I-E-N? Why couldn't you just go Brian, B-R-I-A-N? Why E-N?
Well, why not?
Ridiculous.
Why not?
Why not? Exactly.
I mean,
So I'm going to try to stump you today. Both Joe and I may try to stump you.
You could try. Lots of people have.
Have they?
Yes.
Yeah,
By the way,
he's got Google in front of him. How are you going to stump him?
I don't even have Wi-Fi. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the Wi-Fi.
Waiting for
Oh,
some
all right. Well,
tech
good.
guys.
Then we're on even playing field.
Yeah. So the show, if you're just tuning in, every Thursday at 2 o'clock on the fabulous KHTS 1220 AM, heard all over Southern California. We stream live the show. We're also live on Facebook, I think, Joe. Are we live on Facebook?
Ask the tech guy.
I don't know. You're the tech guy.
The one
We're
behind
the
you.
tech guy,
The one
Joe.
that belongs to the station.
Anyway, I think we're live. We'll
is
be
this
live on Facebook. Also, great app. This is the best. Don't you agree? The best radio app in the country. Go to the App Store. Put in AM 1220.
I actually think
HTS.
the real side has the greatest app in the App
That's
Store,
a
but
li-
that's okay.
that's a cheap plug.
You like that, huh?
What's your app?
That's it. KHTS.
Which? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Just sit back and enjoy. Let's get right into it. So, Brian Johnson, coming on at 2:40. I talked to him yesterday. Fabulous guy. I mean, in Chicago, 18 years old. He brings.
Microwave popcorn to Mexico.
Isn't that? Yeah, you're going to meet the guy that brought. Yeah, look at the face.
At
you're
18
making.
years of age.
I don't understand.
Don't you remember?
he delivered
microwave?
it to
you
Mexico,
don't remember
or-
microwave?
They didn't have microwave popcorn in Mexico.
Really?
He was 18 years old. I mean, what are you doing when you're 18, right? You know, you're bringing popcorn to Mexico. 70 employees in 4 years.
Wow. Oh, so he actually makes it there and delivers it there, or
No,
distributes
he actually
it there.
introduced the product to Mexico.
Wow.
They didn't have any distribution or anything at that time.
He's a marketing guy. Maybe he'll take the real side or ask Brian to Mexico. He takes American ideas, American media, American products.
Sorry about that.
Oh, my God. Aaron, we're going to have to find this guy. Let's get right into this tech thing. All right. You have a question? Ask Brian. You have a question to Joe? Well, we got the expert sitting right here.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Okay, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So if I buy one of these Facebook Live products, how does it work?
You plug it in.
Yes, but
Thank you, Joe. Joe Messina.
Well, look at
everybody.
Facebook Live. Look, you basic technology. I have a really good handle on this Facebook Live stuff. It's just really started taking off. What, August, September, right around there.
6 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, but it really started catching on a while
I'm
back.
going to do it right now while
and
you
there's
guys
so
are
many.
talking. I'm gonna
Please
do it.
do. There's so many webcams. There's so many products out there that really, truly, when you use the term plug and play, it really is plug and play. So when you have your Facebook page, there are buttons on Facebook, depending whether it's a business page or a personal page, to go live now kind of thing.
See, I'm live. Look at
But
this. I'm live.
If you really want to have some fun with this, about 9 or 10 o'clock at night when you're home, they have a live button where you can watch all the people that are live around the world. If you want to see some of the stupidest human beings on the face of the planet, you got to go there.
I was thinking wait till 2 until they had a couple of
Am I
drinks.
wrong? I mean,
I'm going live right now. Here we go. Well, look, countdown.
but we're live there.
Here I am live right on KHTS 1220 AM right here in Southern California. Look at my, here's Ask Brian. There he is. There's Joe
Hello.
Messina. There's the fabulous Lindsay McCoy. So we're doing a show today on tech. I'm telling I'm looking right at you. I'm telling Joe Messina that technology is going to destroy this planet probably within 50 years. I'm sorry to say.
The first computer I had was, I don't know if I should say this because people are going to laugh a lot.
Al?
No, it was a TR-99. Remember those from
I'm not that old.
Texas Instruments. It was a TI 99.
Can you
from
say
Texas
hi to my
Instruments.
50,000?
Hi to your 50,000 peoples. And that one had BASIC. You had a program in BASIC. There was probably about 4 programs out there that actually worked on it, and you had to buy them all from Radio Shack. So that was my intro into computers. But the joke as the years went on was we always you're done. We'd always say that the computers at one point in time the computers would be waiting on us. We're always waiting on computers most of the time.
We are.
Right? So now when you press the button, most of the time it's right there, right? It's waiting for us to finish typing, or it's actually giving you search results as you're typing words in.
I've got another question. Why is it that many times if my printer's not working, I turn the button on and off and it works? Why is that?
Can I get $99 an hour for this? Because I know some guys get really,
I'll buy you lunch
good
next
money.
week.
You know, I charge $1,500, so I mean, I'll ask you 15 questions. And
okay, we'll be good. What do you mean? You mean like you turn the printer on, the computer's already on, and then you go to print to it?
I hit print, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I'm checking it, all my settings, everything's set up, checking the plugs, everything works. I turn the computer on, I turn the computer off, it works. Why is that?
Unplug the USB cable next time, plug it back in. You know what? That technology, how old's your printer?
It's not that old, 2 years old.
Yeah, it's ancient in the computer world, right? You want a Microsoft answer to that?
No, I want
Microsoft answers, well, just uninstall the driver, reinstall it again, and then restart the computer and see what happens. And then call us back. My name is Mike, by the way.
What if it's a Mac?
You know what? Here's my mantra.
Be nice to Apple. Hello. Be nice.
Here's my mantra about Macs and Apples. Fruit rots. Just remember that.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Ask Brien on KHTS 1220 AM.
I want to have him on next time with Alex from Apple. We'll see what happens.
I'll have a field day with it.
So what is, to me, let me get right into it. Technology, I love it. I use it. I want to learn more about it. My concern with these robots and these machines now with these drones that can literally, why send a nice young man or woman into combat? Drones within 5 to 10 years will be doing our fighting for us. And the sophistication of these machines, the sophistication of technology, I think, honestly, Joe's going to destroy the world. I really feel that way.
Well, look, personal opinion, I already think that these smartphones has dumbed down society. We don't retain anything. We don't think anything through. We don't work anything through. I can look it up. I can Google it. It just makes it so your mind doesn't work anymore. Years ago, my dad used to do billing for a company to make a few extra bucks, and he did it all in his head. And I'm not just saying this because he's my father, but he could run down that list and he could add that fast. They gave him a 10 key because they wanted him to have everything on paper, backed up with a piece of paper. He said it didn't take long, 4 to 6 months, and he could no longer do that addition in his head as fast as he used to. So I think it's happened today, too. We retain nothing.
That's a very good point. So you're listening to Ask Brien, BRIEN. Now, Joe, you're on the board of, you haven't been kicked off, you're on the Board of Education for the Hart School District?
The Hart School District here in Santa Clarita.
And I'm saying thank God you're on the board.
Yeah.
But technology is literally now in the classroom.
Oh.
Yeah.
So much different than it used to. We don't use slates anymore with chisels.
Is there such thing as a pencil? Seriously.
I don't think they used it anymore.
No.
Look at most kids in the classes have their own. We have at our Hart District, we have a bring your own device program where you can bring your own phone, you can bring your own tablet, you can use it to do all of this and keep up with the class. They actually have classes where everybody in the class with a tablet, the teacher can see what they're doing and what they're working on. They can answer questions. Those answers go up on a whiteboard where the teacher's working at. So it's a very interactive thing. And you're right. I mean, computers have become such technology as a whole. We have 20,000 what they call nodes at the district, which means they're computers, printers, and that kind of things that help get information across the district as a whole. But the biggest problem we've had in the past, and most companies have, is bandwidth, because the bandwidth is always catching up to technology as a whole, right? I mean, we can take it in as fast as the computer can receive it from the bandwidth we get from some of these companies.
So, open book tester over, right? No more open book test. I mean, I could do an open book test right now. Go to Google.
The last open book test was what, 1963, right? You remember that?
No, they were horrible.
Is that when you were 40?
Well, that was it. Yeah. And he was teaching the class though.
No, now you're getting.
He was the coach.
Now you're getting mean. All right. So, what is Ask Brien, Brien Johnson, all about? What are you trying to accomplish on this show called Ask Brien?
Well, you just asked me two different questions. What I'm trying to accomplish on the show is to allow people to understand what the AskBrien network is. AskBrien network is basically a place where people can go to ask business questions and get business answers quickly. And we have a whole team of experts that are answering these questions constantly. We spend time to research the questions to get a good answer. We're not just sitting there to come up with any answer. And we're trying to create a resource for people to go to. And as far as the show, we're trying to allow people to understand what the AskBrien network is about, and also an opportunity where they can actually see how it works live.
AskBrien.com, BRIEN. So I'm going to ask you a business question, okay? So in the state of California, we have rules and regulations for every type of business, right?
Correct.
Which business do you think has the most rules and regulations? I actually know the answer.
Well, that's a.
I'll give it to you next week. I can't give it to you today, but.
Well, can I guess?
Yeah.
Want me to Google it for him?
Yeah, Google it for me. Google it for me.
That's a good one.
But it's a complex answer. Can you save it till next week?
I'll save it till next.
But is there any chance that we can reduce the regulations that really are affecting small business owners? I mean,
well, we have to. The reality is.
When's it going to start?
Well, I think it's going to start soon. I think the way the government is set up, and I don't want to get into a political discussion here, but the reality is that business owners can't be put in a position where they can't do business. And you can't do business when there's so many regulations. Regulations were put in place to protect people, and that's why we do have regulations. So there is a point and there is a value to having regulations, but having so many regulations where you end up spending more time working on the regulations than operating your business, that's where it becomes too powerful, and that's where something needs to be done.
Our show, incidentally, brought to you by, and I just picked up an award over there, R&R Awards over there on Soledad. How do you say it, Joe? Soledad?
Soledad Canyon Road.
Soledad Canyon Road, 23003. So if you're looking at...
you can Google that, too. You can Google them as well.
You can Google R&R Awards.
Yeah.
They've been here a long time. They do a really nice job.
I used to do their computers years ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You did everybody's computers in
pretty
town.
much, yeah.
My first
so if
computer
you want any dirt on anybody in town, just come see me.
Is there... prices are coming down on computers?
Oh, come on, yeah, you go a dime a dozen, truly, honestly. They used to be the same computer that we spent $2,000 or $3,000 for, you can now get for, $400, $500, $600 in a store, and depending on what you want preloaded and that kind of stuff. They're very affordable today, if you think about it.
My first computer was a K-Pro, and
wow.
the guy gave me a
are
20 megabyte hard drive.
Wow.
And he said, "You'll never need any more data."
Well, do you remember when Bill Gates said 640K was more than enough memory to handle a program?
Well, maybe he was talking about a calculator.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
so
old, Coach.
I want to ask. I know.
We go way
Stop
back.
it, Joe.
Look,
Stop it.
Look, he's using a newspaper and he's got an iPhone on him.
Yeah, but because I'm curious about something in the money section of USA Today.
Yeah.
So, can you explain in detail what the S&P is?
Standard & Poor's, which is a bad name for it, right? I mean, why would you want to do business with a company that's name is Poor?
Standard
anyway.
& Poor's. They're also Brian, aren't they also a rating?
Yeah, they're a
They have
rating
bond
company,
rating
right?
agency as well.
And aren't they the ones that are responsible for really putting us into the soup in 2008? Aren't they ones that said the junk bonds? This is what gets me angst up. I don't want to take time. I don't want to upset our listeners, but these rating agencies, can you explain to me how are they legitimate?
Well, the legitimacy is based on the people that are operating the company, correct? So what they are there for is the S&P is similar to Moody's, is a place where they have financial analysts that are analyzing stocks, analyzing bonds, and coming up with a rating. They review it. But you know what? In reality, you could review a document. I could review a document. Anyone here could review a document and then come up with an analysis. That doesn't mean it's right. They use statistics, they use information that's out there, but in the end of the day, they're guessing. I mean, the reality is many of these people, the top of the line people, they're making mistakes all the time. The reality is people have their own finance show and they come up and they say, buy this stock, and next week it dumps. I mean, the reality is when you go out there, you have to do your own analysis. And if you have your own information, everybody has the same information out there. Supposedly, that's what insider trading is all about for another show. But the reality is, people are sitting there and they're using the information and they're making guesstimates. Nobody knows. They're guessing what's going to happen. They have no idea.
Brian, years and years and years ago, they actually had to sit down at a desk with a spreadsheet and a pencil, and they had to read and do research.
What's a pencil?
He knows. Ask him. Nowadays, they have to they plug it all into a computer. It's got you don't know what 17-year-old kid programmed that on the back end, from Turkey 5 years ago, but they have all that pre-programmed information in there. And they're really not doing the research they used to do. They just plug it in numbers, and like, as you say, they're hoping.
They're guessing.
At the bottom of the page, it looks right.
Joe Messina, Brian Johnson. I'm the coach, Coach Ron Tunick. I do business coaching here in Southern California, so if you need a business coach and you can afford me, look me up. Just Google my name, Coach Ron Tunick, and the fabulous Lindsay McCoy. So, Lindsay, are you concerned about hacking? Seriously, I mean, is it something? Aaron wants you to speak into the microphone. Is it something? I think about it all the time. Do you think about it?
Yeah. It's a major problem. I believe every company is going to have to deal with it at one point. This is a debate between Peter and I, and excuse me.
Who's Peter?
I'm sorry. This is
Is that your boyfriend? You got a boyfriend named Peter.
I'm sorry. This is another partner of mine,
Oh,
and we had these debates from time to time. But I do believe that the hacking is a major problem. If you're a company out there and you're a new startup, your website is gaining traction, you're going to get a lot of people signing up from China, from India, from all over the country, and wanting to rip your website off. So, yeah, it is a big problem, and we had this debate last time too. And I think that you have to be aware and ready for it, and have the right people in play.
So, Joe, hacking, how seriously? We have 2 minutes.
It's very serious.
It is. How can us lay people protect ourselves?
Well, you got $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 you don't know what to do with. I mean, when you're at home, the way to do it is to make sure you have a true firewall in place. Make sure you just don't use the modem that the phone company gives you. You can actually put another router between the modem and your computer. That gives two very solid walls they get through before they get to you. And if you're not that important, it's really, you don't really have to worry that much about it. But businesses, they never spend enough money on security. Never. They don't really see that as an issue.
Why? That's a serious.
It's kind of like that tinge when you pay your light bill every month. You go, what am I doing here? What am I paying for? Right? You've already used it. It's gone. And the same thing with security. You don't see it.
Well,
Brian looks like he wants to say something.
He does want to say
it's an
something.
expense. The same thing with legal.
Yep.
Companies don't
Yep.
want to spend money on legal. Why? I don't want to deal with legal. It's too expensive. We'll deal with the problem when it happens. But then the problem happens. It's the same thing with security. The problem happens, then it's like, why didn't we have a lawyer? Why didn't we have a firewall put up? It's an after-the-fact situation.
But Joe, is
problem we
the
used to
tech
have with
industry not
backups, though.
servicing it properly?
No, that's not
Are
it,
they not
because-
communicating with us?
No, because I was in the business 20 years, and the biggest problem we had with backups, companies didn't want to pay for backups. They didn't want to pay for redundant backups. So when things hit the fan, as we used to say, you'd say to them, do we have a backup? No, because you don't want to pay for one, right?
All right.
Same thing with security.
We're going to come back. I'm going to keep this conversation going. Our show brought to you by R&R Rewards on Soledad Canyon. Soledad R&R Rewards. Aaron's producing the show. He's a great young kid on his way to stardom. We'll be right back on Ask Brien. That's BRIEN.com.